Joining me right now is Arizona Congressman and House Judiciary Committee member Andy Biggs. Congressman, it's great to have you this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. This situation has only gotten worse with this overturning of President Trump's policies with regard to the border. We've seen these numbers worsen. Can you assess what's going on today at the border?
Yeah, Maria, thanks. Let me tell you, when I'm talking to the Border Patrol agents, I talk to folks on the border regularly, and everyone tells me that we're slammed, that we have reached a surge point again. Just 2 weeks ago, we were apprehending about 3,600 per day, which is really well above what even Jay Johnson said was a crisis level. Last week, it jumped to over 4,000 people a day we were apprehending. That means 120,000 people being apprehended every month now going forward. And that also means that the gotaways are going to be somewhere in the 30,000 to 100,000 range. We're not ever actually sure. We're not getting the COVID testing done that needs to be done. We'll get back to catch and release. The cartels are still controlling who's coming across the border, and they're open for business. They're advertising again. That's the report I received just yesterday. NGOs from up here are also advertising again. So you're going to see even more caravans. People are massing across the borders, and it is a border crisis. Even the Biden administration is opening up facilities that have been closed under President Trump. So they know that there's this massive influx coming in, and it's a crisis proportion again on the border.
Well, you mentioned the caravans. There was a horrible crash near the U.S.-Mexico border yesterday. 13 people were killed in California after a semi-truck collided with an SUV. The SUV was carrying 25 passengers in a car meant to hold 8. Okay, Fox News reporting that those passengers were illegal immigrants. So it was a van of illegals trying to get through. Former White House senior advisor Stephen Miller was on Tucker last night, and he weighed in on this crash. Listen to what he said.
You know how you get 25 people in an SUV? I talked to border agents. The smugglers rip out the seats. They pile people on top of each other. They layer them. That's how you fit 25 people in one SUV. Border agents see that kind of thing all the time. We must stop romanticizing illegal immigration. It is cruel. It is wicked. It kills people. And these smuggling organizations are sophisticated.
Congressman, I think that he really encapsulated it well. That was an SUV carrying 25 illegals. They were trying to get into the country. It crashed, and now 13 people are dead. We also do not talk enough about the cartels and how unaccompanied minors are having to face these cartels. It's a dangerous situation. Why are we not talking about this more, and what do you want to hear from the Biden administration about this?
Well, it is actually inhumane what happens. So I mean, Stephen got it right on the SUVs. They'll cram them through 20, 25 people in an eight passenger Ford Expedition or some other SUV. That's what happened yesterday. So that's normal that we see along the border. The other thing is, when you start talking about unaccompanied minors, the vast majority of these unaccompanied minors are ages 14 through 17 right now, and they're male, and they're coming in. That tells us a couple things. These are workers or they're gang members. I mean, that's really what it is. And when you see little kids that come through, and there's a significant number of those little kids as well. And by the way, it more than doubled the number in the last month that were being apprehended, these little kids. So there's human trafficking, sex trafficking, drug trafficking. That's all that's going down, and it's all controlled by cartels who are a multi-billion-dollar industry. And to them, people are merely a product. They really don't care about human life, and we see that. We see that regularly.
I know. We're showing pictures of when I took the show to the border. We went to El Paso, and right in front of my eyes, I saw all these unaccompanied minors crossing the border. It was devastating to see these poor kids. They didn't know what they were doing, what kind of a situation they had been placed in. It was just horrible.